Before we move on to probability, I thought I'd throw this in for fun. You've probably heard about the game Powerball, which is played nationwide. And if you pay attention to the news sites, you'll see that everyone seems to get a bit giddy when the Powerball lottery grows to an insurmountable amount, like in the billions of dollars. And so I thought I'd take some time and share with you the actual probabilities of purchasing a winning Powerball ticket. So make sure you understand I'm talking about purchasing a winning Powerball ticket. Obviously, anybody can purchase a Powerball ticket if you're of the appropriate age. Quick disclaimer, since I'm writing this explanation in January 2019, these rules will only apply to the game as it's played at this date. So basically, the rules of the Powerball game, or Powerball lottery, if you prefer to call it that, is that in order to play the game, you actually have to perform two operations when you play the game. We'll call them Operation 1 and Operation 2. The first operation you must do when you fill out your ticket is you must select 5 numbers from 1 to 69. And actually, if you were to just do a calculation, because the order that you select the numbers doesn't matter, and you can't have repetition, you can't choose the same number, so we could just use the combination formula and say that 69C5 would represent the total number of 5 number combinations or 5 number selections you could actually make. So when you fill out those 5 numbers, there's actually 11,238,513 ways you could fill out that ticket on the first 5 numbers. But then the second operation you must do, you also have to select one number, this is called the Powerball, from the numbers 1 through 26. And that one's pretty easy to calculate. There's only 26 possibilities for that. So the total possibilities, since these are 2 operations performed in succession, to calculate the total possibilities, you just take the number of ways to choose your 5 numbers out of 69, which is this number, and you multiply it by the number of ways you can choose a number from 1 through 26, which is 26. And when you multiply those together, you actually get 292,201,338 as the number of possibilities. So this is resulting in over 292, actually I should say million. So this is over 292 million possible selections. Therefore, your purchase of one ticket has the following probability of winning. You have one chance out of over 292 million possibilities of winning. And when I plugged that in a calculator, I got that your probability would be 0.0000000342223. And so you can see that there's 7 zeros before you even get to a number. And so this is about as close to 0 as one can get without actually equaling 0. So let's just say your chances are very, very, very slim of winning if you just randomly pick numbers for this Powerball ticket. Now, I'm going to show you an image here, and this image is attributed to the website for Texas Lottery, www.texaslottery.org. And it actually, what I think you'll find interesting is it actually shows, if you go down here and look, in order for you to get all 5 of the 5 numbers plus the Powerball to win the grand prize, notice it says your odds, and that really should say probability, but your probability of winning is 1 out of what? Yep, exactly the same number I came up with, 292,201,338. So you can see how mathematics plays a role in doing these calculations. Now, let me show you just a couple of more calculations. You'll see down here it shows you that if you want to get just the 5 Powerballs, but not get the winning number. Well, we know there's only one way to get these five numbers. I shouldn't have said 5 Powerballs, but these 5 numbers. If you want to know how to get these 5 numbers and not the Powerball, well, there's only one way that you can get these 5 numbers, and so we already know that. And then, but now, since you don't have to have the Powerball, that means you would have, since the Powerball is one of the 26 numbers, that means there's 25 ways not to get the Powerball. So actually now you would have 25 chances out of 292 million some odd chances. And if you do 25 divided by this and you reduced it, you'll get an approximation of 1 out of 11,668,064. And actually that should say 688,064. I just copied it wrong. So that's, if you'll notice, that's exactly what we get there, 11 million out of 688,050. Okay, so I tried to change that to an 8 there, but anyway, you get the point now. And now, it gets a little more complicated if you wanted to know how many ways, like your odds of winning the lower level chances, like if you got 4 of the numbers correct, and got the Powerball. Well, let me just show you this. In order to get 4 correct, that means out of the 5 numbers that come up, you would have to choose 4 of them. And out of the 64 other numbers, you choose 1. Well, that's 320 chances. And actually, it's 320 times 1 because there's only one way to get the Powerball. So if you multiply 320 times 1, that gives you 320. Well, 320 out of this 292 million number actually reduces to 1 out of 913,129. And of course, these are approximations. And if you go down here and look, it says 1 out of 913,129. And then lastly, let me just do one more. I'm not going to do all of these, but let me just do one more. What if you wanted to get just 4 of the first 5 numbers and not get the Powerball? Well, to get 4 of the first 5 numbers, you would still do this part just like I did up here. Out of the first 5 numbers, you want to get 4, and out of the 64 other numbers, you choose 1. But then you would multiply that by 25 because there would be 25 ways not to get the Powerball. And so if you multiply that by 25, you actually get 8,000. And so you have 8,000 chances out of this number, and 8,000 out of this number reduces roughly to 1 out of 36,525 as seen below. And again, each time I reduce these, they're actually approximations. So I'll show you this whole table here, but again, if you want to look at it in depth, you can go to that texaslottery.org site, and you can actually look at all of the games. And where you find this chart at is you have to, each time you go to a game, go to how to play. And where it shows you how to play at the bottom, it actually gives you the odds. So you can see here, obviously your best odds would just be to get the Powerball. And so to get the Powerball, you'd have a 1 out of 30, the odds would be 1 out of 38 here. Says to get the Powerball. Okay, so that is actually the very end of my lectures on counting techniques. Now I know in this I threw in some probability, but I just wanted to throw it in just so that I could compare it with this table. So in the next video I'll actually stick to beginning probability topics.